All right. Good afternoon, everyone, or morning if it's morning where you are. We are so happy that you've made time to join us for this chapter leader session. It's kind of our first fall one, right? I mean, we feel like we're slowly getting into a little bit cooler weather and looking forward to all the things that the fall semester is bringing. We know that we were doing these sessions all through the summer, but a lot of you may have really been off during the summer break and have gotten back to campus and you're jumping into Phi Theta Kappa, and we really want to help you get started to hit the ground running with getting involved as a 5-star level chapter. And so this chapter leader session is going to be giving you a primer, a good overview of all of the projects and what's involved in being a 5-star chapter. It is true that the rest of the year is going by quickly, so you'll want to get started if you haven't already, but it is definitely doable. And so that's why we have these sessions, is to help chapter leaders meet you exactly where you are and help get you to that next level. So my name is Jennifer Stanford. I'm the Associate VP of Program Implementation, and I have the pleasure of working with our incredible student engagement team. You see their names here. All of them are joining us except for Dr. Ellis, who had another commitment this afternoon. But I'll just briefly introduce them, and then we're going to jump right into the content. Susan Edwards is our Associate VP of all things honors programs and undergraduate research, primarily honors in action. If you think honor study topic, honors in action, you think Susan. Patty Van Adder is our chapter outreach and development coordinator and is the mastermind behind these wonderful chapter leader sessions and advisor sessions that we've been doing. Reagan Chastain is our curriculum designer, and Dr. Blake Ellis is our chief engagement officer. So we're very excited. Student engagement team works on the program side of Phi Theta Kappa. Once you become a member, all a world of opportunities opens up for you. And so it is our job to help get you connected and get you the resources that you need to really take advantage of all that your Phi Theta Kappa membership affords to you. And that involves a really nice blueprint we call the 5-star chapter plan. So we're going to dive in. Patty, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce our special guest for this afternoon.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, I am thrilled and excited to be. I know most of you probably know Miguel, or if you haven't, you'll get to know more of him over the next couple of weeks and months. But Miguel Rodriguez serves as the 2022-2023 International Vice President of Phi Theta Kappa and the CEO of Colorful Spaces LLC. He currently attends school at Hillsborough Community College in Florida, finishing his associate's degree this year in architecture. He is a frequent speaker at conferences on breaking community college stigma, student leadership, and diversity and inclusion. Fundamental to his work at Phi Theta Kappa, Miguel collaborates with members of the organization to ensure student success. He helps transform students into emerging leaders. He also serves as the State Vice President of Financial Development in Florida, as well as the President of the LGBTQIA+ Student Club, We Are People, on his local community college campus. He's an active member of many student clubs and a 2022 Coca-Cola Leaders of Promise Scholarship recipient. It's my honor and pleasure to turn this over to my friend Miguel.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I hope you all are doing well. So I just want to start this off by letting you know that every accomplishment truly does start with a try and a decision. So we definitely want to make sure we're implementing that in our chapters. To give you a little story, I had someone in our chapter who was going through a rough time in his life, didn't really know how to balance life as well as his children and maintaining his job. So we sat down together as a team. We worked and navigated different ways that he could do things. And that got him to be very successful. So my whole point is just that if he had not have tried and got in contact with us, then there is no telling where he would have ended up. So definitely take that initiative, be out there trying, being with your members trying. We have a lot of programs and resources set up through PTK's website that Patty will talk more about, but definitely get out there and make some accomplishments.
All right. Thank you, Miguel. Yeah, one of the ways that one of the programs, in case you haven't heard anything about it, but is the cornerstone of every engaged chapter in Phi Theta Kappa, is the 5-star chapter plan. It's that blueprint. It is that pathway to bring the opportunities of engaged membership to every member of Phi Theta Kappa. There's 5 levels to it. Every chapter, we always want every chapter to participate in it, because the more who do, the more of our members get those opportunities. It's 5 levels, as you see on the screen. The 1-star level is recognizing academic excellence. The 2-star level is about chapter engagement and leadership, followed up by the 3rd level, one of our favorites, engaging with our regions, right? And I know Miguel is highly engaged with the Florida region all the time, right? And that's one of the most exciting things about the 5-star plan, is engaging with our regions. And then we move on to levels 4 and 5. In levels 4, we work collaboratively with our college administrations to implement a college project that provides an impact to the community and to the campus, and offers you an opportunity to develop your leadership skills and experience workplace practice, right? And so we're always excited to see what our chapters do for the college project. And we're going to hear a little bit more about that from Jennifer in this presentation. And then, of course, the 5-star level, and that's all about engaging on the international level of the society, especially with the Honors in Action project. And this year, it's a really fun year to be involved. So we have a really great topic, and we'll hear more of that from Susan. And then Miguel's going to talk a little bit about international engagement as well later on. So recognition is guaranteed for every level that your chapter achieves. We want you to be, recognized for all of the work that you do with your chapter. We have this calendar that's imposed on it, right? So it's all the activities you do from January to December of this year. So this year's plan started January 1st. It will end December 31st. And we ask that we require all chapters to do all of those activities in that time frame. But take a deep breath if you haven't started on anything, because what we have learned is the majority of chapters really get fired up in September, right? And they realize when they start checking off some of the things that are on the 5-star requirement list that most of them have been completed, and it's really just focusing on college project and Honors in Action. The other thing that I want to impart on all of you is that we believe at headquarters, we believe that every chapter can achieve 5-star status. We're here to support you through that. And you'll hear more about that. And then later on, we're going to, encourage you, if your chapter has not set its 5-star goal, to please do that. Immediately after this meeting would be nice, but tomorrow morning would be good too. So we really hope that you will engage in the 5-star plan. If you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out to us. One of the things that we say before I turn it over to Miguel, it's like, we don't have this really big chapter. We only have 1 officer. We only have, 3 members that come to a meeting. And so Miguel's going to talk a little bit about motivating your membership.
Yes, Patty, thank you. This is very huge to me. I'm all about motivating members from wherever you are. So this is definitely huge for me. I definitely want to see you all getting out there and motivating all of the members. And just like the side stage, you just don't show them how to do it, but also tell them how to participate. Be open with your other members of your chapter. Don't feel afraid to show them your hardships. Let them know the accomplishments that you have gained while being in PTK. Some of the other members that you have met, your advisors, let them know how PTK has truly changed your life. That in turn will motivate them feel free to have them reach out to any of the international officers. That way we could share our stories with them, because a lot of them are inspired just from our stories. And as well as stories, connect with them on Phi Theta Kappa members. If they're on social media, they'll meet a lot of members there that will help get them motivated, but show them why they should be interactive in the association, about the community service, about your college projects, about your honors and actions. Show them all of that and how it can make a life-changing impact after you are done there at your local chapter. That is what I would give when it comes to motivating members. But not only do we stop there, we also have some true and tried tips for you all. As you can see here on the screen, you can ask a member for specific information. There's so much. Have fun. This is huge for me. Definitely have fun. Having fun is going to make the whole chapter life better. At Phi Chi on Del Mabry, I think at every meeting we find some type of way to incorporate a game, or it be some type of laughter. We're going to make sure we have fun, because although Phi Theta Kappa is about your grades, it's about academic scholars, we are also about play. We love to see you all playing. We love to see you all interacting with each other, that student engagement among the chapters, having fellowship. That is something that you definitely want to share with them all. Make sure that you're there to serve them as well on the campus. If they're there to ask you questions, anything that they may need, just be there open for them, not only as a member, but try to become their friend, because at the end of the day, this will make a lifelong changing, it will change your life in the long run with all of these. And invite them. Don't feel afraid. A lot of the meetings are open to the public, so feel free to invite them just so they can see, show them some of the things that we do, how your chapter has been involved in the community or on campus, some of the, maybe about a food pantry that you have done, anything like that on your campus. Show them why it's important to be part of the organization, or why it's a good fit for them to get involved in Phi Theta Kappa. Yes, let some of your non-officers lead. A lot of the times that you think, oh, I'm an officer, I have to do it. But a lot of our members like being out there and feeling inclusive. So we definitely want to make sure we're including them in everything that we do, especially in the meetings. Recognize. I can't say that enough. Make sure you guys are out there recognizing your members. They are going to appreciate that more than a way. And like I said, we have a lot of ways that you can get involved. PTK.org has more ways on their website that you could also get involved. No drama, no llama is how it is. No drama. That's what we avoid.
Patty, sorry, you're muted. Do you want me to take it? Okay, all right. Okay, well, we're going to talk quickly about the college project. We want you to know that first and foremost, this is a project that helps you build or strengthen the relationship, the working relationship between the chapter and the college. So this project can be on anything that relates to your college's mission. This is not a PTK program that you're going in to present unless they want ideas, and we are going to share a potential program with you that might make a great college project if you're looking for ideas. But the real purpose, again, is really about that relationship. And so we know that Phi Theta Kappa chapters really thrive on great administrator support, and that you have to ask them a lot of times for their financial support, or, can you have meeting space on campus, or a whole other, myriad of ask that you have to do as an active chapter. And so this really is your opportunity to go into the college president or another top administrator and say, hey, how can we support you in your mission? Because we truly are a partner with the college. And so it is important that you set up a meeting. If you haven't already done that, certainly your advisor can help you with that. That is going to have its own protocol based on your campus. So be sure to talk with your advisor about what that process looks like, and who you can meet with on your college campus. But before you even go to the meeting, it's always great to do a little preparation. You should be able to look up your college's mission statement, and even some, usually what they call their strategic priorities online on the college's website. And that way you'll have a good idea about what their current goals are, maybe even some of the strategies they're using to meet their goals. And many times you'll find that student involvement, that student voice, is going to be something that they really covet. And so you'll probably find more than one strategic priority where a group of highly engaged student leaders, academic scholars on campus is going to be welcome to help them meet that particular challenge or problem solve an area where they really need to hear from students. And so, maybe brainstorm some ideas before you go into the meeting. But the most important thing is to allow the president or the other administrator, whomever you're meeting with, give them that opportunity to share their ideas first. This really should be a joint project. It's not something that, we want the administration to just say, hey, go do this, and then there's no other communication. It really does need to be a project that you're going to be working alongside a college department. Maybe it's a certain faculty member. It could even be with the maintenance department of the college, just depending on whatever is a priority for your college at this moment in time. So be open to that, be open to what the possibilities are, and work out together what the objectives are, something that's going to be a short-term goal, because you obviously only have a few months to accomplish it. And so you really do want to have something that is realistic, but that is also making a difference on campus, so that you have that sense of accomplishment, and you're also, again, building that relationship with the administration. This will be a big audience for the project, so you want to do your best. There's certainly, and we're going to share this PowerPoint, and so you can go through some of the more minute details. But the main thing that I want to highlight here is, as I was saying, you're going to have a big audience for this. Your college administration, if you go in and say, hey, we want to help, and they take you up on that, you want to be sure to follow through. And so you're going to want to have a point person that's going to keep that project on task. And you're going to want to even involve other students on campus. You don't have to do everything yourself. The chapter members can certainly use this as an opportunity to build bridges with other student organizations. And as I've said, you should be working with other college departments as well to fulfill this particular project. Again, the emphasis is on a joint project, because at the end of the day, it's about that relationship. All right. Patty? Communication, that goes without saying, that you definitely don't want it to just end with that first meeting and then there's never any other follow-up. Of course, you're going to, have some strategies about how you collaborate and with whom you collaborate, but you also want to have a strategy about how you're going to keep the college administration in the loop. You don't want to send them an email every day. But maybe work out what is the best format for that, and know that you're going to want to have a final meeting or some type of follow-up report that really shares and celebrates what your chapter was able to accomplish with the college project. That may be the entry that you're going to write up for your Hallmark Award, the College Project Award. And that's a great way, because you're answering very specific questions, including what the impact of your project was. And so that can double as a report that you share with the administration. Even better if you can sit down and go over the hits and misses of the project, so that you're really reflecting upon how things went, what could have been better. And that certainly can help you with future projects and even personal endeavors that you have. Okay, Patty? I think we've pretty much covered this, just talking about the fact that you don't have to do it by yourselves. Never think that you are alone in this. Not only your chapter advisor is a support and is there to coach you through this process, but again, use this as a networking opportunity. This is a great way to, really work alongside faculty and other community college professionals. It may be that you're collaborating in the community, because the college project can be literally anything that relates to the mission of the college. It may be that you're working to bring in employers to the campus to have a career expo. Or you may be working with local high schools to, bring high school seniors to the campus to really introduce them to the community college as a great first choice for their continuing education. And that really brings us to I think the next slide, Patty, I think it's on CC Smart. Go a couple of more. Let's go. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about CC Smart. So if you haven't already heard, Phi Theta Kappa has launched an awareness campaign where we're partnering with community colleges throughout the country to really help just encourage high school guidance counselors, parents, high school seniors, anyone who is interested in higher education to make sure that they know the community college is a smart first choice. It shouldn't be considered a second choice or a backup choice. There are many reasons why going to a community college first can set you up for success, whether you're transferring or whether you're moving right into the job market or retraining for a different career. And so we have a great website that we put together. It has lots of resources. Because it's encouraging enrollment in community colleges, this could be the focus of a very successful college project. So if your college president is not sure what they would like you to do, be sure to mention ccsmart.org. They will have received, hopefully, communication that they saw from our Phi Theta Kappa CEO, Dr. Lynn Tenscher Ladner. We've invited all college presidents, of course, to be a part of this. They could sign up and be one of the featured colleges. And so that gives them access to the resources that we provide free of charge. But there's other ways to make this a strategic plan for your college project as well. So consider that. Again, the website is very easy to remember. You see it there, and you can check it out after this session to see all of the different resources that are part of that website. Okay, Patty, if you want to go back one, I'll just highlight that for those that are brand new, one more, sorry, keep going. There. If you are brand new to Phi Theta Kappa, please know that we really do have resources that you can use so you are not reinventing the wheel. And one of those resources is the activity guide for chapter leaders. This provides a link to it. So when you have this PowerPoint, you can just click on that and go right to it on our website. It has not only what you do, but how to go about doing things. So when we say you need to set up a meeting with the college administrator, we have sample emails that you can see about that process, sample meeting agendas, different team building activities. If you want to know what other chapters have done for their college project, we have a great journal that we call Change Makers, and you can see top award-winning entries from the past. And then, of course, there is a blueprint to help you actually implement the college project, and that's what we call our college project rubric. And so that's what we use for the Hallmark Award entry. That's on our website as well. And, again, all of these resources are there so that you can literally just walk through step by step a successful project and not feel like you're, reinventing the wheel as you go. All right, Patty, I think it's time now for honors in action.
Yes, it is.
Okay, Susan, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Jennifer and Patty. I think honors in action sometimes can be the place where people new to Phi Theta Kappa or maybe just new to the five-star part of Phi Theta Kappa can feel worried and daunted when they're looking at it. But honors in action is one of those places where we really fulfill the second part of Phi Theta Kappa's mission to provide opportunities for college students to grow as scholars and leaders. So this is a real opportunity for you to develop and hone skills with coaching from your chapter advisors or other collaborators. And it's not as daunting as it can seem. It's definitely not impossible. It just takes one or two really kind of motivated, devoted people. Miguel was talking about motivating people. You're motivated because you are here on a Thursday afternoon, and that's really exciting. And so if you are the person in your chapter and you get one other person excited and motivated to work with you, that's a team, and Honors in Action is a team project. So don't let that stop you. Don't think that, well, we have to have 25 people to do this. You don't. Honors in Action has been one of those great things for Phi Theta Kappa chapters and members, because it is something that every single chapter can do, no matter how small or large the chapter is. It's all about following the process and going step by step through the process. And so, when Miguel talked about, trying, just starting, Honors in Action is like that too. It looks very complex, but it's all about starting and trying and following that process. And there's a very specific process that we have outlined in a number of resources that we'll talk about. So here's where you start with Honors in Action. If we look at the next slide, please, Patty. The cornerstone, the foundation of Honors in Action is academic investigation into the honors study topic. And Jennifer mentioned that we have a great topic. This is the first year of the topic. It's a biennial topic, so it will be the topic again next year. But it is the art and science of play. And there's so much you can do with that. It's an interdisciplinary topic. It's international in scope. It definitely is something that most people have experienced in some way and can relate to. And hopefully that's a way that you also can motivate people and bring them in. And looking at this, you're not really sure how to do that. We have, and I'm going to talk more about it, a lot of resources, including a film list, an extensive film and television list online, where you want to bring people together and kind of think about the art and science of play, maybe have a movie night, maybe have a nice discussion and think, where are people's interests? Because you should be able to find something that people can connect with in the art and science of play. So this is where you want to start. It's investigation, it's academic investigation. We have 7 themes for this honor study topic. And so your team is going to look at the honors program guide. The cover is on this slide. Your chapter will have received 10 copies of this guide in May, but you can also find it online at ptk.org/honors. And you are welcome to download the guide, to print the guide, to share it with everybody so that everybody sees the honors program guide and can take a look at the topic and where the honors program counselor that designs the honor study topic is coming from with these themes. And it's everything from theme 1, which is a foundational theme, looking at the philosophical foundations of the art and science of play, the economics of play, systems of play. In other words, who has access to play? Why does that make a difference? How does that work with different sports or arts venues, or reading, and all sorts of different types of play, because we mean play in very broad terms so that you can find something that interests you. The architecture and design of play, Miguel's an architecture major. What does that look like? How are games designed? How are concert venues designed? How are programs designed that allow you to get things like tickets for places that you play? There's so many things with the architecture and design of play you can do. The soul of play is all about looking at artists and artisans and the way play is a muse to people who create. And it's a really exciting theme. And then nostalgia is play. All of us have played at some point. We may play different things. We may have different interests with play, but we've had some experience with it. That can be a really exhilarating, they can be exhilarating memories. They can be traumatic memories. How does play really work with trauma? How can it really be something that's a healing thing for human beings? And I should mention, with all of this, it isn't just humans. We want people to look at non-human animals too. And with apologies that using the term non-humans, all beings, and how they play. Most beings play and can really work through all of these themes. And then theme 7, I want to highlight it a little bit because we have the title Play It Forward. This one's actually not Pay It Forward, because sometimes that chapters are mistaking that, but it's all about innovation and invention and how play leads to those things. So, for example, someone like a Thomas Edison or someone like a Marie Curie, they somehow got their ideas from playing. What about playing made Edison want to become an inventor? What about playing had Marie Curie wanting to be a scientist? There's a really interesting article from the Washington Post with Dr. Fauci, and he talks about how play led him, playing war, believe it or not, but led him to really see infectious diseases as the enemy. And he grew up, that things were black and white, right and wrong, and the infectious disease is the enemy. And he got that from play, and it led to his life's work. So that's what theme 7 is about. If you're interested in those things, you take a look at that. There's so much you can do, and you're going to follow the process through the academic investigation of honors in action and move on from your research conclusions to the action. But following that process, you don't have to change the world. You don't have to be a Nobel laureate for this. You're just starting to do it. You're doing something that's intentional and based on research and makes a difference in your community in some ways. So do not let the academic investigation stop you. Do not let the idea that the action has to be the biggest action ever on the face of the earth. It's all about the process. It's all about how you develop and hone your skills. And don't forget that your chapter advisor and any of the faculty members on campus or community members can serve as coaches, because this is all about developing and honing your skills. So let's take a look at the next slide. Thank you, Patty. We have a lot of resources. I mentioned the film list, but we have our honors program guide. We have an honors in action workbook. So if you're not really sure about the process, you can download this from our website, print it. You can take a look at it. You can write all over it. Your team can use it as a guide. We have honors in action at a glance. We have some graphics that show you the process of honors in action. And again, it's all about following that process. That's what honors in action is all about. We have sample projects in Civic Scholar, which is Phi Theta Kappa's Journal of Undergraduate Research. We have 4 years. We're getting ready to post another issue, the 2022 issue of award-winning honors in action projects. You can see the wide variety of projects that chapters work on through honors in action, and you can see, once again, they all follow that process through honors in action, because that's what we're wanting chapters to do. And then we have a really wonderful program that was designed by Reagan Chastain, who you met earlier, Research Edge, and it is a short course, online course, where you can go through, once again, the honors in action process and what the different elements of that process mean. And it's a really great way to get started for anyone who's on the honors in action team, or really anyone in general in your chapter. And if you complete Research Edge, there is bling to be had. There's a really nice pin that you can purchase to show that you have completed Research Edge. And then Jennifer mentioned the activity guide for chapter leaders. There are activities related to honors in action in that activity guide for chapter leaders. So take a look at those. Again, if you're not really sure how to get started, some of those activities will get you moving on your way and doing your honors in action project in a strong way for your chapter. I've asked once in a while, and I guess since the first time I was asked this a year ago, does your project have to be good? Does your honors in action hallmark or entry have to be good? And the answer is No, it's all about developing and honing skills. You may be the first people in your chapter's history to work on an honors and action project, and that's wonderful because you're going to leave a legacy for the people who come behind you. So take those first steps, try, get it done, do it to the best of your ability at this moment in time, and then leave that base for the people who follow you. And of course, if you're in a position where you're going to follow that process, remember that you can win regional and international awards. And with Honors in Action, it helps you reach 5-star status for your chapter. I think we mentioned Civic Scholar. There is an Honors in Action project rubric. When you get the Honors Program Guide and you take a look at that, that's the place to start. Get a copy of the Honors in Action project rubric. Have that with you as you plan and you work through the process, because you will see the process in the rubric and the things that you want to include in your project. And if you plan with that end in mind, that's going to help you have a stronger project as well. And of course, we're here to help. So if you have questions as you're working through Honors in Action, any of us here today can answer those questions for you, and we are happy to do that. No secrets in Honors in Action, except follow this. I'm going to hand this back to Miguel.
See, did we lose Miguel?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, there you go. I can't see everybody's name right now, so I'm guessing. Go ahead, Miguel.
Yeah, so our Hallmark Awards, as you can see, the deadlines will be coming up in the next couple of months. We definitely want to see everyone engaged in this and getting those Hallmark Awards in. For the college and CEO and or administrators, those deadlines will be December 7th. For the members, officer, and advisors, as you can see here, they will be due January 11th. And the Honors in Action and or College Project will be due January 18th. And for all the alumni, I'm sure there's someone here, it will be due January 30th. Again, I personally cannot wait to hand over all of these awards to you all at Catalyst. This is going to be my proudest moment, I feel, to be able to cheer on you guys and to recognize you all. So I definitely would like to see as many chapters as possible put in those Hallmark Awards. Patty, we can go to the next slide. International officers. This is something that I would definitely recommend anyone involved in Phi Theta Kappa to get involved with. It has truly been life-changing. My personal experience, I thought I had no shot at it. Here I am, this non-traditional student, going up against all these younger college individuals, CC smart individuals, and I wanted to shoot myself in the foot, but something just told me, like I was saying at the beginning, to try for it, and I tried and I succeeded. I just make sure you put your all into it. Be sure to tell them to stay genuine to who they are. If you're extroverted and bubbly like myself, stay extroverted and bubbly like that. You know, don't feel like you have to be anybody else to assume the role of international officer. There is a lot of work involved in it. You get to network with a lot of individuals. You truly are changing your own life as well as the life of other CC Smart individuals, and not only CC Smart individuals, but other individuals in the world. So I would definitely encourage you all to apply for an international officer position or have someone in your chapter take the experience. It truly has been life-changing. The experience alone will change their life. So that deadline will be coming up February 3rd. However, the application will open in October, and I'm sure Jennifer Stanford will definitely get that information out to all the chapters.
Thank you, Miguel. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. A couple of things that I just wanted to talk about before we go. I know some of you might be looking for additional resources, and we talked about it in the beginning. You know, we have done quite a few sessions over the summer, and they've all been recorded, and that also becomes somewhere else for you to look to see in-depth presentations on college project and honors in action. So for advisors, all of the advisor only sessions have now been posted in the 5-Star Advisor program. You can access them at the bottom of the page under the chapter development session. You'll be able to see many topics there that we have recorded over the year. And so take a look at that. And I can't encourage the advisors enough, if you haven't had a chance, to please take a look at the 5-star program itself. There's so much information about each of these different programs that we talked about in depth, and you will also get some ideas from other chapters, and there's loads of resources within the 5-star plan. And if you can complete the advisor 5-star plan, we get to make a big deal about you. So take a look at that. A lot of great information. It was one of those things that I wish I had when I started as an advisor, because it is so helpful, even just to know all of the terminology that exists in Phi Theta Kappa. We call that the PTK lingo. So again, today's session is actually going to be, it is being recorded, and we will be posting that in a different location, so our members have access to it. We will be putting it in at PTK Edge program, and you'll see it's its own course. It's called Phi Theta Kappa Program Resources. And I encourage all members and advisors to go there to look for some of the sessions that we have geared toward advisors and chapter leaders. And there's a whole section on honors in action, a whole section on college project, leaving a legacy, and so many others. And this one will get posted in that within the next 24 hours. You will see it pop up there. And we encourage the video will be there, and also the corresponding PowerPoint, so you can perhaps maybe have a chapter meeting and use those resources to further explain the 5-star chapter plan or college project and honors in action. And the other resource that I highly recommend, Jennifer and Susan both, talked about it. If you're worried about how to get started, part of being an officer, part of being a chapter member, part of someone who wants to get engaged with making an impact, the resource for you is to pick up that activity guide for chapter leaders, right? It's a how-to, right? How do I set an agenda? How do we set a chapter meeting? I need some ideas on doing a PTK awareness campaign. All of those activities are there, and you can use them as they are or modify them to your needs. So definitely take a look at that. You find it directly on the portal. You can download it, scribble in it, copy it, whatever you need to do, but definitely take a look at that. There's a section for each of that correspond with the 5-star chapter plan. So if you want to know how to get involved with your region and you're not sure, there's activities there. If you want to, there's just tons of stuff. So I encourage you to have it, to take a look at it. It's something that chapter members and officers can do to take the lead on engaging other members in the society. So, we have a few minutes, and if you don't have a question now and something comes up, you can always email me directly, and we will get an answer to your question. But Reagan, did you see any questions in the chat?
This is a quiet group. They haven't asked anything. So.
No questions? Wow. I see a lot of friendly faces now that I stopped sharing my screen. So the other thing, I guess, while we're just being quiet, I want to remind everybody, next week we're going to be doing this session again. Not this particular session, but we'll have another session, and we're really excited about it. Professor Matt Herman, who was a chapter advisor, and also a member of Phi Theta Kappa's Honors Program Council, will be joining us for one of our first ever technical workshops, right, where we're going to talk about technical writing as it relates to the scholarship applications, applying for a job, resume writing and all of those things, and also Hallmark Awards. So we hope you will, since you are here, or if you've registered for this session, you will automatically be invited to attend. So we hope to see everybody next week for that session as well. No other questions? Before we go, I'd like to thank Miguel for being our special guest.
Thank you for having me, Patty. Thank you all so much for attending. I appreciate you all.
Thank you. And for those who will be watching this later, please reach out to us if you have any questions, and we'll follow up with you. All right. If there's no questions, we will see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Drop
it. Okay.
It looks like, how do I register for this session?
For the next session, so if they're here already, that they will automatically, they don't have to re-register again. We will automatically send them the link because I have their email information. Who was the question from? Sophie? They
Hello.
did they,
From
did
from SOPA with MNU member, we got forwarded from our advisor. She was not able to attend, so this is my first ever attending the chat, the team. I'm so excited.
okay, yay. I recall seeing your name today on the registration list, so I will automatically send you the link for next week's session. But if you want, here's my email. If you email me, um, I will send you the link. And you could also find the link in ptk.org, PTK Edge, but just email me and I'll send you the link. That'll make it easier.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. This workshop very inspiring. I'm going to share with my team today. We're having a meeting at 6 o'clock. How wonderful we can learn from this because we've been struggle of finding the idea how to do the online action and the college project. So we've been, it's been 4 weeks now. They having discussion, but we couldn't decide what we next, what would be the idea, what should be our research question. So this is such a good resource for us. I wish they all can join, but they have other commitment. But happy
Right,
to join today. Thank you for
right.
sharing all the wonderful information.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming. We're
Thank
glad
you.
that these are beneficial to you. And that's why we record them because we know not everybody can, who's teaching, who's at class, who's working. So
Thank
this
you
is
very
good.
much.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay.